So other ethical issues that relate to it is the demography, the inequality in demography, the financial burden on the public. So we definitely do it, as we say in Hebrew, bimsura, just in very, very rare cases where there is severe psychological impact. So, fertility preservation, this is the last issue, and then we'll conclude, so I will finish on time. So, fertility preservation is absolutely, by fertility preservation, I mean to freeze the, to stimulate the ovary, again, the risk, minimal risk of hyperstimulation of the ovary, and to take the ova and freeze them. Or, if the patient is before puberty, we take ovarian tissue and freeze it, and there are many cases in Israel where pregnancies really stemmed from these preservation of ovarian tissue and not only of the ova themselves. Of course, it's absolutely allowed, ethically and legally, for patients who have to undergo chemotherapy and they will lose their ovarian function. Freezing their eggs is absolutely permissible, and the Israeli Public Basket of Services really finances it, and the same is Jewish law that permits preservation. I would like, before my conclusions, to relate to issue that came out in the panel. What can we do with the millions of frozen embryos that are in deep freeze around the world? And I'm talking about millions. I think in Shaare we have about 50,000 frozen embryos that we are sure that will never be used. Why are we sure? Definitely not by the parents. Why are we sure? Because IVF is with us since 1978. We already have parents that not only declared that they finished planning the family, they are 60, 65 or 70 years old. So for sure they will not use it. Are we allowed to do stem cell research on such embryos? These embryos could be healthy, or they could be carriers of the genetic diseases, and doing research on the stem cells of the blastocysts may benefit future medicine. Are we allowed to do it? And again, the issue is, and I don't know if the rabbis will agree with me, but I will quote a conversation with Gdol Ador, with Rav Eliashiv, that I personally, together with Professor Abraham Steinberg, had. Here again, there is a difference between Catholicism. Catholicism bans it because even the frozen embryo, the blastocyst, 5 days old, in the test tube, is considered viable according to Catholicism. According to the Talmud Masechet Sotah, before 40 days of embryonal life, actually the embryo is considered water, not when it is in the womb. When it is in the womb, it has the potential to become a normal baby, and you're not allowed to abort it. But when it is in the test tube, actually you can throw it away. I agree with the panel that we should not be hasty and throw it away, but in Shaare Zedek, we have a huge laboratory of stem cell research that do research on these embryos. And I will not forget the evening that I, after we started PGD, that I initiated a meeting with the greatest halachic Jewish law ruler of the time. At that time, he died at the age of 102 in Shaare Zedek, Rav Eliashiv, and I sat before him and explained to him what is PGD and asked him the question. He didn't have to go, not to the Talmud, he immediately say, you can discard it. On the other hand, when President Bush was president in the United States, he stopped all federal support for research on these embryos because according to Catholicism, throwing away or generating the stem cells from such an embryo is considered murder. So that's the difference, and I will conclude by with the if it will pass. So someone help me to go to the next and last slide.
That or one more? We change it here.
Can you go back?
Una más atrás. That? One more. That.
Conclusions. So I tried in the last 35 minutes to shed light on the fact that ART, assisted reproductive technology, brings to our doorstep a myriad of ethical dilemmas The Jewish law takes a position on most of them, and so does the Israeli regulatory authorities, and that advances achieved through AOT should be implemented in a socially responsible manner. Thank you very much for your attention.